right? I mean, Howard gave me my start. I worked for him 15 years. If anybody should tell him, it should be me. So when Howard's mad at Jay for not telling him, it's really my fault. Because I'm the one who told Jay, don't call him, let me talk to him. So that was that. I gave Howard my 2 weeks notice. I took a beating on the air for a week, and then I was free. And you know, I have no hard feelings. I mean, I enjoyed my work there. You know, I loved Howard. I loved the whole show, and you know, and unfortunately now, I guess I'm persona non grata. You know, and it sucks because, you know, it is you know, there's a lot of fans who would love to hear me back on the show.
Oh yeah.
I mean, at least even for one time. And there's so much stuff to talk about. But I called Gary, and I said, Gary, I'm coming out to, you know, New York to do some shows. I just want to give you a heads up, because if anybody, I should do Howard's first. I mean, I owe him that. You know, if you know, and you know, and that's the show I should do first. And Gary said, John, we wouldn't know what to do with you. The show is a different show now. And that was it. So and then I went out, I did Opie and Anthony, and I did all that stuff, and that's it. I mean, there's nothing else I could do. I tried, and then I emailed Gary on Facebook and told him again, I'm coming out. If you want to have me on, he didn't even respond to any of it. And then we just talked about like a Billy Joel concert that we were at.
But why do you think why do you think Howard took it so differently than like Billy West leaving the show and going off on his own thing?
What do you think, they left on good terms? Think anybody leaves on good terms?
Well, you don't hear about it.
I don't hear Scott Einziger on the show anymore. Do you hear Artie on the show anymore? I don't know. I don't. Is Jackie on the show a lot anymore? I don't think so. In fact, I heard they fired Jackie from his show, or they canceled his show 2 weeks before Christmas, and then didn't even invite him to the Christmas party.
Oh.
So there you go. Oh, the E guys heard they got fired on the air, and then they weren't invited to the Howard Stern birthday bash.
That's true.
Yes, it is true. And then they went and handed out free tickets outside because they wanted some seat fillers.
Oh my God.
So no, I mean, I think it's very hard to leave that show on good terms. You know, it's just not an easy thing. I mean, I think there's certain, you know, I don't know what it is, but for some reason people do not leave on good terms, and it happens. I tried my best to leave on the best business-like terms that I could. And even when I gave my 2 weeks notice, Robin Quivers, you know, I was on the phone with her, and so was my wife, and Robin was like, John, you're doing the right thing. You know, people don't get paid around here. You know, I tell Howard he should look over his shoulder because, you know, this is the truth. You know, people are going to start leaving. Don't worry about it. You know, you're doing the right thing. Cut to on Monday morning when we go on the show. Howard, I can't believe he's leaving. She ultimately stabbed me in the back, and I didn't speak to Robin for 2 years after that. I was so angry with her. And then she finally called me and got in touch with me and said, John, can we talk? I'm coming out to LA. Can we have dinner? I said, sure. And then she came out, and I said, what happened, Robin? You really freaking did the about face on me. It wasn't very nice. She said, John, I was caught between a rock and a hard place. Here I have Howard, who's my friend, and you're my friend, and I just, I didn't know what to do at that time. But, so we made up, and that was it. And then the last time I talked to her, or I called her, was when she had cancer, just to, to wish her well. But I don't have a problem with anybody really over there. I mean, I don't even have a problem with Fred. And Fred hates me. And I don't care.
What's Fred's issue with you?
Fred always had it. Like, I think it goes back. I don't want to sound like, because I hate to sound like, I think it goes back to when I got my record deal with Atlantic Records, because Fred always wanted to, be a musician. It was just like, I guess Fred did, like, there was a certain thing, I guess he looked down on my ambition.
Oh.
Because I went and got the record deal. Fred wanted, was a musician. Fred did 1 billion voiceover auditions. I get the job to announce for the Tonight Show with you. There's got to be some part of him that is just like, fuck this guy.
And you're a stutterer.
Exactly.
Like,
He's like, what do I got to do?
Well, I think that's what a lot of people thought too when they announced on the show that you were taking the job with the Tonight Show and you were going to be the announcer. We're like, how's he going to pull that up?
I know. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with the Tonight Show? Hiring a stutterer to be their announcer. That's like entrusting Charlie Sheen with your Coke. But yeah, so that's the truth. I mean, again though, Howard gave me my start. I'm grateful to him. if they invited me back, I'd be there in a second. And as you can tell, I'm unfiltered. We just talked about anal sex and how I got a girl finger up my ass. So I'll tell anything. I tell it like it is. I tell the truth, and I mean, if they ask me back, I don't care if I got beaten up by Fred and Howard for 2 hours straight. I don't care. I would do it. You know, not only because I feel I owe that to Howard, but also because I think the fans deserve it. And I think, you know, the fans deserve having Artie back. The fans deserve having Jackie back. I mean, there are all these great legend, and I don't, you know, I don't include myself in this, but like Artie and Jackie, legendary people that, you know, that Stern fans would really, really appreciate hearing at least one last time. And for some reason, you know, I think I don't know about Jackie, so Carl, don't give me on. But I'm pretty sure that Artie and I aren't allowed back on the show. And Artie for different reasons. Artie never did anything except, you know, do drugs and try to kill himself. But besides that,
Who hasn't?
Yeah.
But do you think because of Opie, you went on Opie and Anthony, that's one of the reasons they are really being hard on you? Because I know, really?
No, I know exactly what it was, and this is the truth. I mean, first I did an interview with Adam Carolla, and I was doing like a bunch of interviews on the phone. It was for this, I don't know, this condo place out here. They were selling timeshares, whatever. And then they had me a billion interviews. I guess Adam was asking me questions. Was I upset about my pay? And I said, and I was honest. I said, yeah. I don't know anybody in the world who's not upset about their pay. Everybody wants to get paid more. I mean, that's just the nature of the beast. But I guess I said something that pissed him off. Howard went off of me for an hour or 2 hours. I'm a loser. I'm a new talent. I'm an ingrate. Then, and I hadn't heard that, you know, since my father said it when I was 5. But then,
didn't he say you were be a horrible father?
Oh, he also told me to abort. Well, that's when I was there. He told me to abort my first kid because I'm not fit to be a father. Oh. Which kills me because all my life, all I ever wanted was children. Aww. So, and I have been nothing, and I don't want to again sound egotistical, but I've been nothing but a loving and caring dad, and I love my kids, the most important thing in the world. And, you know, so that to me was really like, see, this is the whole thing that bothers me about Howard, and I would tell him right to his face, is that he would say the most horrible things to me, even when I was there. I'm a loser, I'm a loser. I would go home in tears. And then I say a couple of things, like, you know what he's mad about now? I was on Facebook, and all these guys are on Facebook, and they're saying to me that Howard is accusing me of stealing bits and using them on The Tonight Show. Now, as a comic, and, you know, Jessica will back me on this, the last thing you want to do is ever steal somebody's bit. Yeah. And if you ever do a bit that somebody says that somebody else did, you stop doing it. Because you don't want to ever be called, you know, I mean, that's a bad rap. I would never, my conscience, my OCD would not allow me to steal anything. So I'm sitting there arguing with these people, and they're saying that Howard's saying that I'm stealing bits. And I said, that's not true, don't drink the Kool-Aid. Some guy cuts and pastes that, who knows out of context how he does it, sends that to the show. Howard sees that, goes off of me for an hour. For the simple expression, don't drink the Kool-Aid. Now, really? You told me to abort my kid. You freaking called me a loser on numerous occasions. You beat up Jay so bad that when I was at the Tonight Show, I felt so bad for Jay. I went up to Jay after a month and said, Jay, listen, man, I'm so sorry about this. And Jay, this is the straight-up guy that he is. He puts his hand on my shoulder and he goes, John, I don't give a fuck. He goes, don't worry about it at all. And that, you know, that was cool of Jay. But all that Howard bashing of Jay, how do you think that made me feel when I was there? All the Stern fans going, Jay, Howard's beating you up again. Howard's beating you up. And he knows it's because of me. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, and Howard must know that how uncomfortable that's going to make life for me at the show. But whatever, that's what he did. Am I mad at him about it now? No. Is it water under the bridge? Yeah. So this small little Facebook thing, you know, that makes me persona non grata? Really? Some asshole decides to cut and paste something? Don't drink the Kool-Aid? But whatever, it's his show, and I hear he's changed now. He's making up with people like Stutter. Rosie O'Donnell he's friends with now, and Kathy Lee Gifford he's friends with now, but not poor old Stuttering John.
They don't have a lot of porn people on either, don't feel bad.
But people tweet me and they go, it's so ironic.
Do you think that's because because of the image he's got now because of America's Got Talent?
I don't know, but people...
yeah, absolutely.
But people say to me, 100%. You know, on Twitter, and I actually thought of this first, but I didn't want to say it out loud, but now that people did, I'll say it, that, you know, Howard used to beat the hell out of Johnny Carson because he banned Joan Rivers. And now look what's fucking happened. You know, I'm banned, Artie's banned. What? I mean, it's just like it's the same thing. But hey, like I said, he could hate me for saying these things, but it's the truth. You know, I mean, I'd love to hang out. If I saw Howard on the street, I mean, he probably wouldn't even say hi to me, but if I did, I would fucking go up, give him a hug, thanks again for everything, you know, I love you, and that's it. All this other shit is just minutia. Let's get over it and forget about it. It's not like I said anything bad about his kids, bad about his wife. It's nothing. It's just defending myself. I had a guy in that same stream email me that he wanted to rape my kids and kill my wife, although I would have went with the latter, but still. I mean, you know, people are brutal, and they were being brutal, so I defended myself. Do I apologize to Howard if I offended him? Yes. Howard, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for offending you, but I, just like yourself, am not perfect. I'm going to say things that I'm going to apologize about later. Last night I hit on this lovely girl, Jessica. She turned me down. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have mixed work with pleasure. But I'm still pissed you didn't fuck me. But you know, people say things that people say, don't worry about it, I'll fuck you later.
All right, okay.
But you know,
all right.
But people say things that they don't mean sometimes, or they're in the moment. I get it, but am I going to hold a grudge for freaking years? No. And I love Howard's wife, Beth. She's the sweetest person alive. She's beautiful. She's doing all that stuff for animals. I commend her for it, you know. And I know Howard's doing stuff for animals. I commend him for it. Like the great Rodney King once said, "Why can't we all just get along?" There. How was that, everybody? Thank you very much.
When you were on the show, in your prime, doing all those guy on the street interviews and stuff, was there one time where you're like, I don't want to do that?
Well, I was telling, I just did Nicole Sandler's show. She has a podcast, and you know, she was attacking me for some of the interviews, and then she brought up the Liz Smith, and I really did feel bad because what happened was I was in the studio with Howard and Andrew Dice Clay was on, and they would come up to questions for Liz Smith, and Andrew Dice Clay said, "Hey, why don't you ask her why she's such a fat cow?" I don't know if that was Dice Clay or Rodney Dangerfield, but whatever, I'm not an impressionist. But anyway, so I asked Liz Smith, "Hey, why are you such a fat cow?" She laughed. I felt miserable. The next time I went to Howard, I said, "Look, Liz Smith's going to be here. I'd like to go and interview her, but this time, you know, apologize," which I did. So that was like one. There was one time they wanted me to ask, I think Charles Barkley, just after Michael Jordan's dad got stabbed in a car or whatever happened to his dad, and there was a question to another, like Charles Barkley at SNL, there was a question about asking him, like, are you going to give your dad instructions on how not to get killed in a car? It was something like, it's something like to that effect that I refused to ask. And the only other time, and there was very few times that I refused to ask anything, and the only other time was when I was with Kathy Lee and Frank and their kids were present. I didn't want to interview them whenever there was children present. And that was about it. I don't really feel too bad about much of them, because to me it was like an SNL skit to me.
Right.
You know, and then what happens, like, you know what's so funny, like you have like Ali G, you know, Sacha Baron Cohen started doing the same shit. Yeah. You know, and listen, this is Howard's idea of me doing this crap. I don't take credit for it. You know, that was his idea. But and then now you have that Zach Galifianakis, whatever it fucking is. Yeah. Fucking stutterer's nightmare. That's what it is. You know, and now he does Between Two Ferns, and he's essentially doing what I was doing. He's asking like the craziest questions to Brad Pitt, and you know, even though they're in on the gag, but it's still insulting questions. You know, and that's what hey, whatever. I'm happy for all that, and I'm happy that, you know, I have so many fans come up to me happy with all the laughs, and, you know, that's a good thing. You know what I mean? And so if I was able to make somebody laugh or you know, or enjoy their ride to work, then God bless. I mean that's the greatest thing.
Stuttering John, everybody.
Oh my God. I love him.
You can see with the Improv all week, 8 and 10.
Yes, well, no, tonight and Thursday, it's the show's at 8:30, and then on Friday it goes earlier, because there's 2 shows on Friday, so I hate 2 shows. Because I like to have like 3 beers before I get on stage. No, it's only because like I stutter, and believe it or not, even when I was a keynote speaker at the National Stuttering Association convention, this was true.
Oh my God! Wait a minute.
I know.
National Stuttering Convention.
Yes, I gave a great hour-long speech, but the Q&A was brutal.
That's great.
It took 5 hours. 3 questions. Hey!
Tickets to that. That sounds like such a gig.
No, but I even said, after I gave him all the tricks about putting a silent "the" in front of the words or whatever, I have all these tricks, you know. Then I also told him, and if all else fails, have a few beers. So before I get on stage, I like to have like 3 light beers, just to take the edge off, because I stutter a lot less. But when you have the 2 shows, you know, you do the 3, then I gotta fucking not drink for a while, and then, you know, your head comes down, and then you're miserable. So I gotta time it like a chemist. I gotta do like 3, then in the middle I have to have like maybe 1 or 2, and then bring. I mean, it's fucking crazy. You should see me. I'm mixing and matching backstage, and then I'll have a couple of cigarettes just to get me higher a little bit. So you know, it's crazy. It's like Sam Kinison. It was just his anniversary of his death. Sam was one of my best friends. Not my best friend, but he was one of my best celebrity friends. I mean, he took me under his wing. The nicest man in the world. This is what Sam did once. I was at the China Club. This is the night he strangled Arsenio Hall, by the way. Arsenio Hall was coming down the steps at the China Club, and Arsenio had made a joke about Sam's brother. Sam got so pissed. All I know is I see Sam run up the stairs, and then there's a whole thing coming in. Sam strangled Arsenio into submission. Arsenio apologized. But anyway, that night, I'm hanging out with Sam, and the same night, like an idiot, Sam introduced me to Julian Lennon. What don't you say to Julian Lennon? The thing because I always put my foot in my mouth, I go, Julian, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band changed my life. He goes, yeah, thanks, man. Thanks. But anyway, but that night, there I am. I'm in the, Sam takes me in the bathroom, so we're in a stall. He opens a magazine page, and it's fucking Coke. And I haven't seen that much pot in my life. It was like this huge amount of Coke. He goes, come on, do a couple blasts. And I never really did Coke. He goes, come on. So we start doing Coke in the bathroom. And then he goes, listen, if you get a little too freaky, take one of these. And he reaches in his pocket, pulls out a pill. So he taught me how to do this chemics, this whole mix and match stuff. So thank you, Sam.
Can you tell me what that is off air?
What, the other pill?
Yeah, what was it? We're
I don't know. It was probably like a Quaalude or something. It was probably something to bring me down if the Coke got me too...
no, it was B12. That's what it was.
Yeah. Although I will tell you...
Flintstone vitamin.
Another Sam story, you know, like if you will, is I was, you know, me and my friend came out to LA and I heard Sam was performing out at the Trancas. That was in Malibu. So I go to the gig, and then after Sam invites me to his house, he wouldn't let like famous band guys in his house, but he would let me in his house. So we go in there, and I'm hanging out with Ozzy's band, and yeah, they were doing Coke and everything else, and then you know, I fall asleep because I'm a lightweight after 20 beers, and I'm sleeping on the landing. And the next morning, I wake up to 2 familiar voices. I look over the landing, and it's Sam and Buddy Hackett with their guns out, exchanging gun stories. It was the funniest fucking thing in the world. But no, Sam was the best. God bless his soul. And how ironic, I mean, how sad that Sam becomes sober and then he gets, you know, killed by a drunk driver.
Yeah.
It's awful. But God, Sam was one of the best, man.
Yes.
I don't know how he got into that, but he's great.
Driving towards Laughlin, right? Is that where it was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the needles.
And by the way, yesterday was the anniversary of Otto Peterson's death, Otto and George.
Oh, yeah, right.
And Otto, I did plenty of shows on the road with, and man, one of the greatest guys in the
And
world.
today's the anniversary of Joey Ramone.
Joey I hung out with too.
Yeah.
And Joey also had OCD. And Joey and I used to talk about OCD all the time. Like Joey would never change his number. Like his first 3 digits of numbers was 777. And he would never change it no matter where he moved. He always had to keep that number. But he had the same OCD shit like I did. So me and him would talk about what medications. It's like, you know, like I hang out with Howie Mandel every once in a while, and we go through our OCD, you know, shit all the time. So hey, you know, I guess you know, there's comfort in company or whatever you fucking say. I don't know. Fucking, I'm not a Mensa student. Anyway.
Well, give it up for Senator John. He's got to go.
Oh, you leave it. Leave it, no. Can I come with?
Later.
Yeah, you'll come to the show later.
Oh, where are you guys going now?
Oh,
I gotta go.
The show.
I gotta go get ready.
They've got to go get ready for the show.
Where are you going?
So
I got it.
he's gonna take John. He brought him.
Yes.
She goes off.
She wants John to take her.
Yeah.
We're gonna
You
take a
coming
break.
back?
No,
We'll
probably not.
be right back.
No, we're going.
I'm going too.
Fine, I'll do it myself.
We'll do it live.
Yeah.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live.
Yeah.
Me, the
Well, I'll
porn
walk you
star, and the
guys out.
saxophonist are gonna
Maybe
figure out how to
Yeah.
fix this show.
Absolutely.
My phone.
We're gonna make it work.
Well, I can DM it to you.
Yeah. Are you on my?
Yeah, we DM it.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Absolutely.
That'd be great.
Absolutely.
Get up here, sexy.
Bobby, can you reach up and turn that off?
Turn it up.
Phone comes off.
I don't know if I can honestly, I'll be trying.
All right.
Just,
All
I
right.
believe tomorrow.
Okay.
Got it.
Bye, Tina.
Bye.
Bye. It's good meeting you.
Bye.
Yeah.
I'll come to get you out.
That's
It was
just
good seeing you.
Oh,
again.
I'll get my
Did you
phone.
want water?
Yeah.
Well, I just want to remind this because I was going to show physically to my son. Physically, that's not one class. That's
No,
not.
I know. I know.
And I'm like, what happened? It's because I talked to him. I asked him, like, what's going on? I'm like, I'm not going to step on toes. I appreciate what you do.